Good evening, everyone. I might start by telling you a little bit about what I've been up to for the last 6 months, because I'm in a slightly different position to these two, but I'm very grateful for the support and encouragement they've given me whilst I've been setting up. So I suppose over the last 6 months, I've been getting around to hopefully a lot of the businesses, a lot of the key stakeholders doing that initial meet and greet. This week alone, or the past week rather, I can give you examples of several school presentations that have happened, NRMA Older Drivers Forum on mobility and accessibility issues, sporting presentations, sporting functions, then you've got all the Lions clubs, your Rotary, your Probus groups. So I guess for me, being a new MP and making sure that I get around to all the people in the community who want to have their voices heard and establish that initial connection with me, I've just been going around saying hi and seeing what the local issues are. Aside from that, something which I mentioned in my inaugural speech that I'm particularly passionate about is childhood obesity, and I'm very excited by the fact that the Premier has committed to childhood obesity and the reduction of it rather as being something which is in his 12 points of priority. And I can actually say that it's something I've been working on and looking at locally in terms of potentially moving towards a pilot project at some point in time, because I have someone in the room that I've actually met with about it. So I did meet with the Better You Health Group, who came in along with my former boss, Pat Farmer, who's obviously a health nut, and I've spoken with them along with several other businesses about what projects they roll out in schools and how they have been going about trying to tackle that issue of childhood obesity, and encouraging various groups of the community to be more conscious with the way they eat and exercise, and changing the mentality of the next generation with respect to overall health. Turning now to something a little bit more substantial, hopefully. I'll just start rattling off the notes that I'd prepared, and hopefully it covers off the things that Mark and Lee aren't touching on. But I'll start with the usual political diatribe about the ALP and what happened before we came into government. When the coalition government took office in 2011, New South Wales was a failed, crumbling state, unable to live up to its incredible potential under the previous admin. The state's economy was at rock bottom. Investment confidence had been shot to pieces by a series of dysfunctional governments. Jobs growth was stagnant, the building of critical infrastructure had come to a dead end, and government agencies were totally demoralised and operating in silos. Thankfully, in the space of just 4 years, the government has dramatically reversed the fortunes of this state and its people, a state that in 2015 now leads the nation in every vital indicator. According to the ANZ Stateometer, released on the 3rd of this month, New South Wales is number 1, continues to improve solidly, and is extending its lead. Following 16 years of Labor stagnation, stasis and maladministration, the bold objective of this incoming coalition government was to make New South Wales number 1 again. More than 4 years on, all key performance indicators are promising. We have the lowest unemployment rate of any state. Our economic growth has been pegged at above the national average for the last 10 consecutive quarters, and business conditions sit at twice the national average. In the realm of development and construction, dwelling approvals are at a 41-year high, and the budget has committed $68.6 billion to infrastructure projects over the next 4 years. As a state on the move, New South Wales has truly become the engine room of the national economy, and our lead over and above the rest of the country has gone from strength to strength. The government wants to ensure that New South Wales remains the place to do business in this country. Our Jobs Action Plan, which supported the creation of more than 115,000 positions in this state, has just been extended, which translates to 4 more years of huge incentive for businesses to employ more workers. As part of the government's Jobs Action Plan, up to the end of August 2015, around 2,630 applications have been received for the Sutherland local government area, with around $2.7 million in rebates paid. A small business employment incentive scheme has also been introduced, which will drive employment participation and business in our state, and indeed, our Shire. Such is the big picture of our state's economy. As part of the coalition team, my job is to represent the interests of the people of Miranda and fight for the best possible deal for our Shire. The Sutherland Shire is truly God's country, a place of undoubted natural beauty, whose people are its finest asset. When the people of the Shire are connected, enthused, and engaged, there is no limit to the potential of our region when it comes to business and economic growth. At first glance, our Shire has an impressive track record. While statewide unemployment sits at 6%, the Sutherland Shire region is a low of 4.9%. Constituting the vast majority of businesses in our Shire, there are 20,455 small businesses in the Sutherland local government area. In view of the centrality of small business, government should not stifle the free enterprise of business by the application of excessive red tape. The payroll tax rebates, of which I made mention earlier, are just one way in which we are easing the red tape burden. In my first 6 months as the member for Miranda, I have been a supporter of the Small Biz Connect and their Big Blue Bus, which sits under the umbrella of the Office of the Small Business Commissioner. The presence of Small Biz Connect at the Cash for Carrying Bar consultation event on the 12th of June, which I was proud to attend and support, was a particular driver of increased participation in small business networking and advisory activities as we looked at renewal in the Carrying Bar precinct. One example of a small business which has benefited strongly from the Small Biz Connect service is the Shire's only microbrewery restaurant, Blackrock Brasserie and Black Horse Brewery in Sylvania. When the Cochrane family, who ran the restaurant, contacted their local Small Biz Connect advisor, Jackie Attard, who's here tonight, she introduced them to the social networking events and one-on-one business advisory sessions through the service. These opportunities help to develop the Cochrane skills in management and providing a sounding board for new ideas. Now the restaurant hosts the free pub biz events at their thriving restaurant, meaning the success is now fueling the success of others. 2 Small Biz Connect clients, Refraction Media and Soul Therapy, also went on to be named finalists in the 2015 Telstra Small Business Awards, a stunning achievement of which our region is justifiably proud. The Small Business Friends Councils program, a partnership between the Office of the Small Business Commissioner and the New South Wales Business Chamber, is just one other way that the government is promoting small business success. One of my priorities for the Sutherland Shire area, and in particular my seat of Miranda, is greater number of car parks that I know Esnali greatly supports. I note that in respect of the report released by Sutherland Shire Council followed by their business survey report in late 2014, an overwhelming number of responses asserted that more car park in the Shire would be the strongest driver of growth for the respondents' businesses. And I can say that as I've door-knocked our businesses and as I went about Carrying Bar with the Chamber on that day during the Cash for Carrying Bar giveaway, many people in our community are concerned about car parking, not just in a commuter sense, but also in terms of getting people in and out of their local businesses quickly, efficiently, and supporting the growth of their businesses. In another win for our local area, as a result of recent legislation, local councils will be equipped with the powers they need to move on dumped boat trailers on our residential streets if they are left dormant for greater than 3 months, as we invest in stronger boat storage programs in our Shire and free up much needed residential parking. Central to driving business success in the Shire is investment in infrastructure and commitment to connectivity. Investing in public transport networks, cycleways, and the F6 gateway to the south are pivotal to the future of our Shire, and they are investments for which I will be lobbying intensely. The Woolooware Bay Cycleway, in conjunction with the Sutherland to Cronulla Active Transport Link, will provide a continuous cycleway across the Georges River to Brighton, with links to the airport and Homebush. These cycleways are essential components of the government's determination to fill in the missing links in our Shire. There is no more glaring missing link in this region than the gateway to the south. In my inaugural speech, I said that the overwhelming support for an F6 motorway has outlived the tenure of any politician in the Shire in recent years. In order to clear congestion and give life to the connection between the Illawarra and Sydney metropolitan regions, we must build the F6. I am informed that the New South Wales Government is scoping options that would complete the missing motorway link between Waterfall and the wider network, and that $7.5 million have been invested in early planning for the gateway to the south. This will continue to be a priority in my time as the member for Miranda, as it is for my colleagues present today, and we know that Mark's already touched on this. And I'm actively seeking updates from the Minister for Roads and Maritime and Freight as they become available, as are both Mark and Lee. Moreover, the Shire will receive its fair share of much-needed maintenance works on its Sydney Trains network, with $1.2 billion for turnout renewals, recycling works, track reconstruction, overhead wire modernisation and Tangara technology upgrades. Housing supply and affordability will be a pivotal challenge for our region in the decades ahead. Due to a population increase in Sydney South by 25%, the government anticipates that 67,000 new homes in the district will need to be identified over the next 20 years. Dwelling approvals are at a 41-year high right across the state, and Sutherland LGA stands at 13th out of 152 LGAs for volume of development applications processed. It is no surprise that we're in the midst of local building boom in our Shire, with Gymea, Carrilla and Como experiencing significant growth in the private development, with runoff effect for business growth. In the Miranda electorate in particular, the government has dedicated $7.9 million to building and upgrading 61 units of public housing in Gymea, Janali and Miranda. During this first 6 months in government, I have been passing feedback up to the chain to the ministerial level in regards to residents and public housing tenants' concerns with antisocial and criminal behaviour in public housing. Strong changes have been made to the legislation governing public housing in the form of the Residential Tenancies and Housing Legislation Amendment, which ensure that there's a 3 strikes and you're out policy. Tenants will also have the opportunity to give anonymous residential impact statements. With the legislation in full swing, our streets will be safer, more pleasant places for residents and businesses alike. The people of our Shire and the passions which drive them are our greatest asset. And when government helps equip this region with the infrastructure, imagination and connectivity that we deserve, there will be no limit to what our Shire can achieve together. For my part as your local member, I will continue to fight for our fair share of infrastructure, funds and growth in order that business in our Shire takes longer strides in the years to come.